Hello and welcome to the show. I'm here on Forza 6 with another silly car build. My vehicle today is the BMW 1M. I picked this car because out of all the BMWs, there are only a couple that can actually have the 6-litre V12. That is the M1 and the 1M. I'm kind of curious as to why this of all cars is given the monstrously powerful engine. I mean, I know the other cars can get some half-decent power, but this one here can get, the most powerful engine in the game in one of the smallest of the BMWs. Kind of curious to see how it's going to hold up. It could be quite interesting to try and drive. I don't know. I'm hoping that we might have some decent handling, but you never quite know. What you gonna get from these cars? Hoping to have some nice, decent-sized tyres as well on the back. The weight is perhaps going to be a little heavier than I was expecting. Actually, I don't know why. There's no point in going for that. It's a couple of pounds heavier for very little in the way of difference. Nope, not going to be going for that one. We will be going for some nice race tyres. PI I would expect from this car to be quite considerably higher than the other Lancia that we're trying to beat. 275s on the front is pretty good going. 315s on the rear is not too bad either. I mean, we may have some traction issues. They're certainly nowhere near as bigger tyres as we got on the GT40, but they're also a lot bigger than some of the cars that we have seen. So I think we may have okay traction. This may stand a fairly sensible chance of going quickly. I say fairly sensible chance. I mean, it's still going to be a ridiculously powerful vehicle tackling a wet circuit. But yeah, I think it might do. It'll also come down to how much weight can we get out of the vehicle. If we make it too light, they can sometimes be a little bit twitchy and a little bit scary. Sometimes being that tad heavier can be useful, but of course, when they are heavier, you're going to have less acceleration, and it's going to be more work getting the car stopped and through the corners and so on. So there's a very fine balance for sort of what weight you want the car to be when you're putting in this much power. £2,900 is pretty good. That's kind of there or thereabouts. I'm hoping that we might have enough control in this to keep it on the road, to keep it pointing in the right direction, but still be light enough and so on for some good acceleration. I don't want too much crazy wheel spin like we saw from. I say too much crazy wheel. We're going to get quite a lot of crazy wheel spin. It's kind of the twitchiness that you get from the likes of the Maserati Birdcage and so on. I suspect we probably won't see quite that levels from the BMW. You can also tell that we're starting to get to the point now where the power isn't actually really making much difference. The PI is very, very slowly going up, despite adding 37 horsepower here. PI is only going up a couple of points and so on. I expect the PI to actually be slightly higher. In all honesty, with this vehicle, it's only going to be 836, maybe a couple more after I put the flywheel on. If it's going to make any difference at all to the car. Yeah, I was expecting slightly higher PI, perhaps a little concerned. It might be a little scary on the handling front, but then most of these cars tend to be pretty scary on the handling front. 1,182 horsepower from the V12, just under £3,000, decent amount of torque. Hopefully, we will have big enough tyres to be controllable, and maybe, just maybe, this will stand a chance. So, it is here to the Brands Hatch Indy circuit where I will be testing the BMW. I'm going to be having 6 laps to try and go as fast as possible. Our current target time is a 49.8 set by the Lancia race car. The question is, will the BMW be able to beat it? Off the line, we're going to get a fair amount of wheel spin. Even the Subaru Brat, even with tiny tyres, the four-wheel drive meant that thing could get started quite well. This is, as you would expect, going to spin the wheels quite a lot more down through that first corner, but it's not too bad. The traction is not quite Ford GT levels, but it's not too bad. The front end doesn't really want to get turned in through that second corner, and then we do get a little bit of oversteer on the way out and down here. Oh, good God, it doesn't turn. The front of the BMW is, woo, I'm kind of offering vague suggestions of what way the car might go with the steering input here. Like, I want you to go left, please go left, please go left. Now I want you to go right, please go right. Please, eventually you might turn. Come on, car. I want to get around this final corner. Good God, that is impressively bad understeer. Oh, and then we've got terrible understeer and then lots of oversteer as well. Whoa, that's a lot of wheel spin as we cross the line. I thought we might be able to get to full throttle. Just as we did, it burst up into wheel spin, kind of across the line. Oh, I've made the first corner, but very nearly ended up on the curb. We've seen how vicious the curb can be on the outside. Oh, we're not stopping there, and it makes it 10 times worse because we're not ever going to get the front end turned into the corner regardless. Oh, this is an interest. This is not what I expected. Not at all what I expected. If anything, I was thinking it was going to be more along the lines of the Maserati birdcage, kind of ridiculously sideways, quite a twitchy thing, being so powerful in a relatively short wheelbase. But it really isn't. I think we may have a little bit more traction than we got from the likes of the birdcage, potentially out of these corners. Certainly, I think it might be possible to get it to full throttle without spinning the wheels. You will have to be a little bit careful in the car. There we go, yeah, just about. The bumps kind of throw it about a little bit. That's actually not as bad of a lap time as I was perhaps fearing from the BMW, considering the atrocious understeer that we're dealing with. 52.3, it's not awful in one of these cars. Oh, please turn. There we go. We've found an apex of a corner briefly, and then we're going to start. It is just the worst combination of handling traits. Horrendously oversteery, which is, let's face it, not surprising because of the conditions and so on, and terribly, terribly understeery as well. You get both awful things in one car, it would seem. It's just, there is absolutely nothing in the way of turning in this car. You just sit and wait, and maybe eventually you'll be able to get the power down, and then you've got to wait even longer, of course, because it's so powerful, and we're in the pouring rain, and the traction, while better than some, is still not particularly fantastic. And we're coming under brakes again, down towards this first corner, just about managing to get it stopped. I haven't dared take my eyes off to look at the speedo, not sure how fast we're going. Doubt it's quite as quick as the Brat that we had last time out, or the Ferrari 250 LM down there. I don't think we can really get the power out of the final corner well enough. Of course, being such a short straight here, getting the power down at that final corner is so important for getting a good run down towards the start-finish line. Oh, you can see where I've been spinning the wheels in this car. Please turn in, BMW, thank you. This lap could be quite a good one if I can hold it all together around here, and I'm not sure that I'm going to quite be able to manage that one. If we don't spin the wheels out of that final corner, things would be better. Oh, come on, I'm trying to get the power down. There we go, fourth gear, we can boot it now. It is, well, that's quicker than I was expecting. That's actually pretty damn impressive from the BMW. I really don't particularly like it, but that's not a bad time. Getting into the 50s is pretty damn impressive from this car. Even, come on, get turned in, please. It's got more understeer than the Brat and the Willys Jeep had. It's got so much more understeer than those two things had. Oh, and then we have got the oversteer as well, when you try to get on the power. But somehow it's actually still quite fast, which is bemusing. Oh no, we're going to play in the grass here, big time. Well, that's not quite where we wanted to be. That's a new place to end up on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. I can't say I've ever ended up out that far. Fortunately, it's not really compromised my run onto this final lap because of, we could still just about carry a similar speed down here. Come on, fifth gear is probably a better idea down that straight, to be honest. Fourth gear is just too likely to burst into wheel spin across the small bumps. This is proving to be a nasty challenge for these silly car builds. It's kind of bumpy. There's very little in the way of space for them to really utilise all of their power, which is kind of part of the challenge. And certainly a lot of them are struggling being able to get anywhere near full throttle for any length of time. We're going to run a wheel across the grass. Oh, I did a stupid. There we go. Our first oversteery spinny moment was from a wheel on the grass. We're not going to go quicker, and I highly doubt I could beat that last lap anyway. That 50.9 was a very, very quick lap time from the BMW. I pushed my luck too much. I think I wasn't going to go quicker anyway. I ran a little bit wide down turn one. This is a weird thing. Incredible, absolutely phenomenal levels of understeer from the BMW. Yeah, of course you can spin the wheels up with this much power. Oopsie, I did a very stupid, just messing about with the car now that the lap's over. Yeah, of course, you can spin the wheels up, slide it about plenty with this much power, but it's the understeer that's the issue. The traction is okay, not that much better though than quite a lot of the ridiculous cars that we've got around here, certainly nowhere near as good as the GT40s. It's the understeer. The front end just doesn't get turned into the corners, and that is why I am surprised that this car went as quickly as it did. I mean, the 50.9 puts it in 4th. That's pretty good going. It's only 0.3 of a second down on the 250 LM, and that was a pretty damn good car to drive. But, yeah, I'm not sure how this has got as fast. It's quicker than both the Subaru Brat and the Willys Jeep, the Daytona, the C63, Mercedes. It's, yeah, pretty damn fast. I thought it might be pretty fast before I built it, and at first lap it felt awful. Didn't really improve, but 50.9 is pretty damn respectable. It's only just over a second down on the Lancia around here. So, yeah, very tough to drive, huge amounts of understeer, but surprisingly quick from the BMW 1M. Well, following an impressive lap time from the BMW is now time to find out just how fast it'll go in a straight line. Can we have an equally impressive straight line speed? Well, it has got plenty of the power, one of the most powerful engines that you will get in the game. So I suspect we could see this maybe challenge the C63. In fact, it looks like it probably will. Can we get it past the 250 mile an hour mark? It looks like it can. Let's see if we can get any more out of it. We'll normally be a couple of miles an hour down, perhaps, on the benchmark. We just don't have the space. As long as the Le Mans straight here is, it's not endless, so we will still need to be able to get up to that 250 mile an hour mark. Let's see how this fares in the dry for these first few fast corners. In fact, I am got some slight concerns. Yeah, it doesn't really. The front end doesn't really turn. Of course, it's better because there is just more grip available in general here. But yeah, that is not at all what I expected from the BMW. Hey, much of the wheel spin. Not quite as bad as the Nissan. Woo, doesn't like curbs. Does not like curbs whatsoever down here. It's not surprising. It's better that it's got far bigger tyres than the Nissan. Yeah, it's a strange thing. But speed-wise, we could see it go second. If I can get near... Oh, no, we're going to get carried away on those bumps. Those bumps are such a pain in the arse. They really are. Such nasty things that can cart the cars about. This one, not a huge fan. And I slightly fear for this car come the kink at the end of the straight. We're well past 200 miles an hour already on our way to 224 as we change up into a 6th gear. We're past 230 miles an hour now. Can we survive the bumps? Can we survive the kink at the end of the straight? 240 miles an hour, and still it's pulling pretty well. Now we're going to start running out 247 miles an hour. It is gone quicker than the Mercedes. Come on, get that 250 miles an hour. There we go. 250. Any more from the BMW? I think not. Oh, we're sliding. We're sliding big time. Oh, on the brakes. There we go. Hey, no, we're gonna lose it, but I might be able to keep it out of the wall. I lied, I couldn't. That's not fun. Kind of feared it might do that at 250. We kind of got a little bit airborne coming into a corner at 250 miles an hour. I tried my best to catch it. Almost got it under braking, but that's a big spin from the BMW. Very fast, incredibly fast car. This one in a straight line, and surprisingly fast around the track. It's probably one of the worst cars that I've driven. To be fair, thinking about it, the 850R that had 1,000 horsepower going through the front wheels was... I don't remember it being worse understeery than this. In all honesty. Yeah, the understeer in this thing is incredible, yet somehow there is still a lot of lap speed in the car. And the straight line speed is equally impressive. It's not the world's greatest aerodynamical shape, this one. So with all of its power, it's not going to be quite as fast as the 250 LM, but 250 miles an hour is still very respectable. Doesn't like the bumps, though. Definitely didn't like the bumps coming onto the straight or coming around the kink at the end of the straight. We've got it launched in the air. Try to control it. It was a relatively minor scrape against the wall considering the speed that we got launched into the air at, but yeah, the speed is enough to put the car into second place on our speed table, only beaten by the 250 LM, and that's not particularly surprising. This goes quicker than the Mercedes C63, than the Maserati Birdcage, and the Dodge Daytona, and the Ford GT40, so impressive straight line speed in this car. Incredibly difficult to drive, but when you get it right, surprisingly fast. An odd one, not at all what I expected from the BMW, but there we go. Well, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.